Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time I left off, Ambassador Alba wanted us to hold off on our investigation because, well, you know, they were in the middle of doing a reconciliation between the countries and whatnot, and he doesn't want all the cops there and blah blah blah, scaring people away. But then Agent Lang said, well, he came back first off, and then he's like, I know who really killed Damascus II, and he went off accusing Franziska. So it's like, okay, that can't be right. So now we're going to go ahead and listen to his logic behind why he thinks it's her, and we hopefully can prove her innocent. So, border crossing weapons. One of Albast's knives was used in Babel in order to murder Mr. Ka-Shi. The murder weapon in the killing of Damascus II is Babel's Prima statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after crimes was you. Huh. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect? You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you just stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss! Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Z never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor! Who do you think you are speaking about Lang Z's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you need to see the truth. Oh, there we go. So, time for our rebuttal. So he says that somehow these things are able to be to penetrate the country's impenetrable security. Really now? Well, wait a minute here. Now I thought there was something on here. See. Impenetrable my butt when this is actually swapped as a real one. So I think actually we need to present this at this statement. I think. Pretty sure, yeah, I think we got it. Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh? Damascus II was killed with Babel's Prima statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Albast's Prima statue go? To Babel! Precisely, and if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point, which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Albast and Babel is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person, one who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guards said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I point it out, it would open a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, a possible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you got some clever idea to mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me the other route. This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. And as you kind of noticed between, those flashing images, that Edgeworth had, I think he means that, the photo of the Garasu is what he's talking about, because we still really know what the hell is going on here. Like, supposedly a photo of the Garasu, flying out the window or something, and supposedly it was spotted at both embassies, so it could be possible that this is what we're looking for. Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. Ugh, this supernatural photo? Like I said before, humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. Don't start claiming that Shi-Na somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Ugh. How can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait. Not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... Okay, well, let's take a look. He says that can't be humanly possible. Well, wait. Okay, then how about it being something that has a human figure to it, a human characteristics? Kind of like, a statue? Maybe the one that we can't find?
Take that!
Or the one that we're asking about? Naturally, the shadow is a third smuggled object, the Prima statue replica. You can't be serious! The Yadagrasu, or rather, Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent Shi-Na, was inside Babel. Bayball, whatever. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha! Mr. Prosecutor! What, come on, how many... Really? You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? Ha! And how exactly did she do that? Whatever. Maybe I had to be in another state of mind to be, like, in that anger phase of his, but it's like, I don't really catch it. Whatever. He's literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? He said that, okay. Oh, it called you into the office. I wonder what that was about. So just because of murder, right before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Ms. Von Karma. Oh, where are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before a murder occurred, Ms. Von Karma had been in this room before because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Huh. Do you really think a criminal will tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I'm the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too! I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time, which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Ugh. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright, so what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl, no! As you wish. Alright, so let's hear her side of the story of, well, let's hear what she was doing while she was in this room. Her movements in Albast. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Albastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of the situation is to ask Franziska about her testimony in more detail. Which pretty much tells you we need to press for more information. So, okay, we know that. Alright, we know that. She went to the Rose Garden. So, right about here, after all the preparations, she was called back to his office. But why? I want to find out more about that.
Hold it.
At that time, the Master Second's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Alright then, add that statement to your testimony, and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Well, for the hell of it, let's press on this as well. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side, however, the window's on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you enter the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, he spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself, and was growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes, the plants in this room, they're all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box in the windowsill are growing beautifully, too. All four of them are in full bloom. Mr. Von Karma, what did you say? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. There were 4 large passion flowers in full bloom in the flower box. Now, if you think, like, you know, why the hell is that important? Why the hell did Edgeworth say, wait a minute, I need you to append that? We have, actually, evidence about those passion flowers, and, yeah, they're right here. But, ooh, look at that. 2 large flowers in bloom. 2. Something is amiss. Franziska, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. Ha! I knew it! I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Aunt Carmel like this? Yeah, sir! If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir! Oh! All I've done is state what I saw. I've made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion of murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction. It is enigmatic. Enigmatic? Yeah. Enigmatic case. Enigmatic, okay, whatever. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. But let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine a flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care, so I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. And walk into the flower case. Here we go. So, should I have saved this for later? That's screw. I'll make this a longer episode. Why the hell not? So, well, let's go ahead and examine the flowers. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only two that are in to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Ugh! Miles Edgeworth! Hurry up and shut this man up for me already! Suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? You know what? I do have evidence when I kind of think about it. I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight, but I highly doubt it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang, but we'll see if you have any bites to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth of passion flowers revealed can be seen in this piece of evidence. Now remember what Edgeworth said, they're not actually flowers, they're vines, but they're supported with those, like, plant support things. The thing is, now that I kind of thought about it, don't we have something like that? Or maybe something like these hair sticks. Now, think about even looking at this. It says there's some dirt on the tips. Now, wouldn't you think that these would have been support for these other two passion flowers that are somewhat missing? So I think that's the evidence that we're looking for. Shi-Na, who was supposedly in Babel the entire time, who was supposedly there the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. Ha! So what? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that we smuggled between the countries tonight. Ayah! Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Shi-Na's hands, who was in Babel the whole night. So make no mistake, these attacks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Ugh! Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babel. How did these support sticks find their way into Babel, and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up here. Aha! So that's why! I don't know yet. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this, and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? So it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what is important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. And when an object that completes a picture when used with the support sticks is... oh shoot, what is it? Well, the only thing I can think of, because, well, the hair sticks could be somewhat pointy, I guess if it was shot at a very high rate of speed, it could be weaponized, so perhaps it could be used as a crossbow? That's the only thing I can come up with right now. That's a crossbow! Wait, you're not really suggesting that? I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows! Ayah! Okay, I'm done. I've done it! I found a common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all! Oh, okay, but whatever. In any case, I guess we're going to hear his second part of the border crossing incident next time, guys. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. I'll see you guys later.